Guten Tag, ich bin Richard Metzelfan here, bringing you guys an old school album review. And today we're going to be looking into this album's 35th anniversary, and it's from one of the best bands in the Teutonic thrash metal movement, or the German thrash metal scene in the 80s. And as you can see below the title, we're going to be talking about Eternal's Devastation by Destruction. This was the band's second album, released on July 12th, 1986 through Steamhammer Records. Now, this follows up their previous album being their debut album, Infernal Overkill, as well as the Sentence to Death EP. And with the Sentence to Death EP and Infernal Overkill, it had that thrash metal influence, but also had like hints of like the early first wave of black metal. But with this album, Eternal Devastation, they switched it up, and it's just more just the straight up thrash, which I like. I mean, I like a lot of black metal, but I think thrash is just really what Destruction is known for. Production wise, it's superb, and the vocals from Schmier, his vocals really they do well, as well as his bass playing. The bass playing on this album is pretty audible. It's heard well in the mix, and it goes well with Mike Stiffinger's guitar playing, and just like the soloing, even though they had like one guitar for most of their career up until a couple years ago, where they now have two guitar players, which makes it, honestly, with having two guitar players, here's for most bands, makes it sound a lot more fuller and heavier, especially when playing live. Anyway, but drumming wise, Tommy Sandman does a really great job on the drums. So without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, starting things off is Curse the Gods, which when I first heard this song, the intro of it kind of sounds a little bit weird, but over time I've grown to love it, and it serves like a great calm before the storm. It has sort of like a apocalyptic feeling and then the song just gets progressively better, and the riffs that alternate are just kick ass, and it's just a great way to start off this album. Just start it off with a bang. And then we move on to Confound Games. Now this kind of like features sort of like the kind of vocals and more galloping parts from the guitars. The production is sharp, but I should also mention that it's a little bit unpolished, as it is great, but then it restarts to kind of like how it was with Infernal Overkill ended, but the volumes are far better, and the riffs here are really important. It's just heavy, and it's just a really true essential, and the drum sounds is great. Moving on to Life Without Sen. Hence now has some really great energetic riffs that are the trademark, and it has a mid-paced tempo, and it perfectly just goes well with the whole song. And then the intensity, the is more just upfront on the guitars and less on the drums. It achieves like the goal of creating bombastic songs under not so fast tempos. While it is fast, but not too fast, if you know what I mean. Next song on the album is called United by Hatred. Now this song has a sound that's kind of like similar to something from like their previous album a little bit. I don't know, it just sounds just very traditional metal sounding, but the beginning also has some really great rhythmic riffage, and then just some really fast tempos, and it's a really great song. Eternal Band's up next. Now this song opens the track with a sort of solo style, but it also sounds a little bit repetitive, but I don't know. Now it has some killer riffage, but I feel like it's too much to comprehend, and I think it's great as well, but I think the soloing could do, I don't know, it's hard to describe it. Then we move on to Upcoming Devastation. Now this is one of those thrash songs that just isn't all out bursting, but sort of more laid back. And later the song, it just becomes what thrash is, just riffs and more riffs, and I feel like it's missing one thing in thrash, which is the singing, which is somewhat of a relief, but the vocals are great, and it's just a bang your head kind of song, and it's a great instrumental as well. And then we close things out with Confused Mind. Now it pretty much ends the album under sort of like an up-tempo, and the intro is there to just increase the weight. And the end, there is the sound of guitars that still remains just stuck in your head, and just, I think, a great way to end this album. Now overall, Eternal Devastation by Destruction, great album, good follow-up to their debut album, Infernal Overkill. So if I had to give this album a score, I'd give Eternal Devastation by Destruction a solid 9 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review of the album, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the album, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal. Dankeschön.